we're going to have a book talk. And it's about my first novel that I've written called May. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. My friend CJ is going to interview me. We've done an interview together before for my short story. Oh, hey, Tracy, it's you. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we're going to do like a little interview. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to speaker, call him. Call him, put him on speakerphone. You know what I mean?
Hello?
Hello, CJ. Let's see.
Hello.
I'm going to turn you up. I'm going to put you closer to the screen. Say some words real quick.
Hi, it's me. It's Charles, interviewing Kelly.
I don't know if they can hear that. Hey, Mom, can you hear? Can you understand, CJ? Okay, we got this. All right. So, if you want to start asking questions, you can, because apparently people can hear you. Just make sure you speak up and clearly.
Awesome. Well, hello, people. Good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. And Kelly, congratulations on releasing your first full book.
Thank you.
Very much welcome. All right, love. Now, what inspired you to write this book? What idea came to you firsthand to make you go, you know what, I'm going to write this book and I want to title it May. What was that like?
So those separate thoughts came at different times. So, I was telling them before you joined in actually, that there was a short story competition at PSC to write a short story really quickly. And I had been trying to write a story based on this like family I created in my head for a while. And I decided I needed to write something really fast. So I sort of took an idea and like, I don't know, sort of, what am I trying to say? Zeroed in on a certain topic, and that's where Elizabeth came from. And so I wrote a short story called Elizabeth, and it got third place at the Walter F. Sparrow competition. And so I decided to build the story around that, because before I was having a hard time finding my starting place for actually writing what I wanted to write. And now that I already had this like huge kind of short moment to work on, I made it larger around it. And as far as calling it May, that took forever. I could not figure out a book title for the life of me. I'm bad at titling things. What did I want to call it at first? Strange, because she's a stranger in a new place. I don't know, it made sense to me, but my friend Chelsea, shout out to Chelsea, said it sounded like aliens. So that's not what I was going for. So it took me a long time. Yeah. So it took me a long time to figure it out. And then finally, I decided that I would base it on her nickname, which becomes May, which is given to her by her friend. So that's how I did it. Also, May is like bright and sunny, like the month itself. And so it sort of sparks the change between spring and summer. And if anything is highlighted in this book, I think it's change. So I decided that it was a good way to go.
Beautiful. All right. And what made you want to write in the time period that it's in? Because I think explain to me what the time period is and why you wanted to write in that setting.
It's set in the beginning. It's set in 1930. I want to say 3. You'd think I'd know, but it's like 1933. Really, I just wanted. Okay, so again, this goes back to me writing about this whole family idea, and the family I started with in my brain, they were from their own era, right? And so I had to backtrack through it to get back to the character I chose to write about this time, which kind of put them in that area of time. But originally I started writing and it was set even earlier than 1930, but then I forgot about the prohibition and the banning of alcohol. And even though I'm not working too hard to stick to the time period as far as events go, I felt like I should go ahead and make sure I was at least past the banning of alcohol. So I made sure it was not too early but 1930 felt good. Plus, for the content that I was talking about, like the race relations, or even just how women are treated or what's expected of women, the older time period felt more, aligned towards what I was going for.
Oh, that's good. I love it. Okay, so this is novel 1 of the Green Ivy series.
Yes.
What is the Green Ivy series? This is a family, correct? Or is it just, explain a little bit on that?
Well, so Green Ivy series, I came up with the name because my last name's Green, but also, so ivy is a connecting plant, and it grows and it connects things and weaves throughout, it's a vine. And so, since Elizabeth exists in the same universe and I want to keep writing stories that exist in the same universe, I decided to call it the Green Ivy series, because whether or not they connect sequentially, like I could write a story that's 40 years down the road, but it's still the same family line or something, it'll be connected in itself because it's a part of the series. So I wanted to keep that idea of connection strong. And also, when I write, I usually write about families, and so they're connected. It's all about the connection. And then the Green Ivy just works on both levels because Ivy is green, I'm green, it all works. So that's what I was going for. Because at some point, of course, I want to write stories that are not in the same universe, and so those won't be a part of the series. But the ones that are, they are.
Alrighty. Now, when I first started reading the book, I noticed the titles of the chapters. What made you come up with each one of those? Was it like a specific thing in each chapter, or was it like you had to write the chapter? No, that's a whole separate question. But what made you go with the titles for each chapter?
Yeah, so I like chapters with titles instead of just numbers. It's just a personal preference. But I didn't know how exactly I wanted to do it, but I decided that I wanted to find a word that either sort of stood out in the chapter itself, or that just sort of described kind of the feeling of the chapter. For instance, there's one, the first chapter is called Nice, and there's no, I'm sure they say the word nice, but it's more about them pretending to be nice is kind of the idea I'm going with that. There's a chapter called Chilled Shrimp, as Chelsea is pointing out in the comments, and it's just because of, seriously, just a little comment that's made, but it's such a random name to use that I thought it'd be catchy, and apparently it is, because I've already had comments on it. And then I just play like with word. I just do a lot of wordplay, or just pick out words that were strong within the thing. Like chapters 13 and 14 are called Strange ... Fruit, and I won't really. If you know the song and you know the history of the song, then you can kind of have an idea of what might that mean. If not, that's not important, and you'll get to it, and then maybe you'll go back and wonder why I titled it that. But so yeah, it's wordplay mostly.
All right, because I thought about the song when I read the title, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna finish it. But then when it said Strange, and then next chapter said Fruit, I was like, I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. How were you more? Are you more of a write the chapters first and then come up with the title kind of person?
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't come up with chapter titles. I don't title anything. I don't title essays, chapters, books, nothing. I can't until like way later. So yeah.
For sure. All right. I'm scrolling through my notes to see if I have any more other questions.
Hello,
all right,
people.
can you let us in on any of the other family members that Mariana might have?
How do you mean?
Or, like you said, you want to do more stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the first story I started writing, and I'm still playing with it, and now I might just wait till I get there in a sequential manner, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, whatever. But I know Like, I know her grandchildren. I know their story. And I know where they're going. And I know their children and grandchildren. So like I said, it just kind of continues on into modern era and through different time periods. So yeah, I mean, she has children within this book, of course. And they'll have children, and they'll have children in their own existences that range from, I mean, there's just a lot of range there. I guess it's like, how would I explain it? It's just a continuing on and on type thing. And yeah, so it'll do, like, she is basically the matriarch of all the stories I want to tell from this family line.
Oh, okay. So it's very much like a B.C. Andrews type deal, where you focus on one family, but each family's different stories, but they all connect via one person.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Beautiful. All right, there was one. I'm looking at the novel now, but it made me bring up Ariana's Grace because I can't remember. I know it was earlier in the chapters, but she used to go to the I guess the Negro town or what it was called. So that makes me think, what was she like a biracial?
Oh no, no, she's white. She's just white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole thing is, like, she's white, her love interest is white. But different characters, there was a lot of black characters, and yeah, she used to go to the black town. So, you know, it's the 30s, and her family is well off. They don't pay a lot of attention to her, period. She has a caretaker who is a black woman, and basically, like in one of the first chapters, it says that she curtailed her I don't think that's the right word. Whatever. She just followed her to a neighborhood once that the maid needed to go to, and just decided that she liked it out there, mostly because she doesn't have a lot of friends her own age. But when she goes to the other neighborhood, she's usually like following around older people anyway. So she just sort of, found where she liked to be and sort of stuck around there. Whether or not she's a nuisance to them is not really important. She likes being there. And then she sort of develops this sort of, like, she has no, I don't like saying the term don't see color, but she has no prejudice in her just because of, basically that's how she grew up, because her parents have little to no influence on her life. It's more about her caretakers and the older people she spent time around. So that's how she ends up in the situations she ends up in, because she either does things that are kind of off base for what other people in her circle who are like her would be doing or whatever. But she just kind of does her own thing. So, hey guys, it's me again. Excuse the hair, try to do something with it. But just wanted to let you know this video is ending short because YouTube won't let me be great and it can only be so long. So I'm uploading this part, and then there'll be a part 2, maybe a part 3, and so on. But I hope you're enjoying hearing about the process and my inspirations. And CJ is a wonderful interviewer, so thank you for tuning in and listening. And I'll try to get all the parts up for you all. Don't forget to get your own copy. Bye.